In this activity, we will be looking at the labor market trends in Canada for the past 5 years. And we will focus on a number of indicators. We'll look at the participation rate, employment rate, and unemployment rate. I strongly advise you to read to fully understand what you are trying to analyze. It makes no sense to analyze something you don't understand. So here I've provided some explanation. You definitely saw it in your introduction to economics class. This is what we are trying to do. We want to get the age group and the sexes. This is coming from Statistics Canada, not from me. We will be looking at unemployment and participation rate. So we will execute these 4 things. The first one, we will make our choices and compare them. We'll generate a line plot, a column chart for unemployment for the past 5 years. Then this is your job. You should discuss the trend, and then you should compute the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and variance. And once you are done with that, you should repeat exactly the same analysis for participation rate. In reality, you do not repeat it. You just go on your slicer and you click on it. So I will be doing that. And at the end of the day, your job is to transfer all what you've done to a Microsoft Word document and try to discuss. I don't expect you to become an expert in discussing all of those things. I just want to see your effort. I'm trying to reward the effort and to make sure you know how to generate these things using Excel. So what we will do, just copy the data source, paste it on your browser. I have already done that. Generally, when you paste it, it may take about 10 to 15 seconds because it's pulling the data from the website of Statistics Canada. So just scroll on your left-hand side, go to where you have labor market indicators, and once you get there, click on your download data. Once you do that, in principle, it should download it. Here is it. So you have the option to go into your download folder, click on it. If you click on it and it opens completely and it opens properly, then you are good to go. So if you have something like this, so when you can't see what's there, you just need to double click between this, and then you'll see that it's date. So when you have something like that, you are ready to go. Now, for those who do not have this, who have something that is completely messy, I'll show you what to do. So I'm going to shut this down. This is for the benefit of those who did not get that, who have something messy. What you need to do is to open a blank Excel workbook. So in case you opened it and it was really messy, open a blank Excel workbook, go to data, look for wherever you have text to CSV. Generally, you go to get data from file, text CSV because your data is in that format. And then navigate to your download folder because by default data downloads into your download folder. Click on it, click on import. Only do this in case when you open Microsoft Excel, your data looked messy. Then you can take a look at it. If your data looks like this, if everything looks nice, well, if you want, you can go to transform. Okay, I'll just click go to transform so that we can check and make sure everything is fine. When you go to transform, you want to make sure the data type is date. So if you click here, you can see, is it date? If it's date, you are good to go. For region, you really don't care. It's generally the right data type. If it's not, you just go there and you take ABC, indicator, sex, age group, same thing. Now, this is very important. For your value, you don't want ABC. You absolutely want to change this. So we are going to click there and I'll take decimal. And when I do that, I will take add new step. And there we go. Let's see. What do I have here? Okay. So I have something like this. Okay. I will let it go. It's true. It tells me the error is less than 1%. I'll just leave it as it is. Okay. So we will go to home, close and load 2. Very important. Now take table and then OK. So of course your data will look slightly different from those who just double clicked immediately, but there is no difference. It really means nothing. So once you get to this point, you are good to go. Click anywhere inside your data set, go to Insert, click Pivot Table, and take Pivot Table, OK. Now once we get here, the first thing we want to do is to take value, put it where we have values. You may have sum or you may have count. So click on it, value field setting. We want to take average, number format, number, OK, OK. And then you are good. Now we want to take date, drag it and put it where you have rows and leave it. Now, given that the instruction is telling us to compare unemployment rate, we will first start by groups. We want to compare it by groups. Whatever you want to compare, that you want to put it where your columns are. So we will take age group, we will put it where we have columns. That's it, you have your age groups. Now you want to get rid of the grand total that is here and the grand total that is there. So go to Design. On your left, you'll find grand total here. Click the drop down, take off for rows and columns. I'll click, then you no more have the grand totals. That's perfect. So now we are going to click on Pivot Table Analyze, click on Pivot Chart, and then the first thing we want to add a line chart, and OK. Now keep your line chart here. You can expand it, but give yourself enough space. Now, before we add a second chart, we will add the slicers. The slicers will enable us to make the choices we need to make. So go to Pivot Chart Analyze. Make sure your chart is active. Under Pivot Chart Analyze, click Slicer. You first of all want to add a slicer for region. That will enable us to choose Quebec. Then click on your chart, Pivot Chart Analyze, Insert Slicer. We want to take Indicator. That will enable us to choose to do our analysis exclusively on unemployment, and later on we will change it to participation rate. Click on your chart, Pivot Chart Analyze, Slicer. This time we want to take sex and OK. We'll place it here depending on the size of your screen. My screen is pretty large. That's why I can keep putting things. Now the next thing we want to do is just to add a timeline. Click on your chart, Pivot Chart Analyze, Insert Timeline, click on Date, OK, and then move your date maybe here. Put it anywhere you want. It really doesn't matter. I'll come here on this drop down, click, and click on Yes. Okay, I can close this. I don't need that. Now we said we want the past 5 years. Click there and then just drag it, click and hold. We have the past 5 years. I will make the adjustment. Here we have the past 5 years, but that is not interesting because we are only seeing the yearly average. We want to go deeper. So where you see this, come and click on this chart. Now click on the plus to expand and click again on it to expand so that you can really see what's going on for the past 5 years. That's what you want to see. But on the other hand, you can click again to reduce it. You click on minus and you click on minus. Then you can see what is going on. However, we need to make a choice. First choose Quebec. We've chosen yes. Scroll down, choose Quebec. After choosing Quebec, you take unemployment rate. Now, we don't want all of this. Just take both sexes. It means it's everyone. And there we go. So here we can see the yearly average. Of course, if you want to play with that and do things like that, but we just want to keep it simple, okay? So reduce it, make sure it looks like that. Now, we will slightly move this here, okay? Because I'll just move it there because we want to compute certain things. So here, for example, I'm going to type mean, median, mode, standard deviation, stdef, variance. And we want to compute all of that for what? For this age group. So the mean, you always start with equality sign. Mean, you use average, A-V-E-R-A. I will double click here and I will select that for the past 5 years and I'll hit enter. Here I have my average. Now I want the median. Equal, M-E-D-I-A, double click, select everything, release it. Mode, equal, M-O-D-E. I'll click on this one, double click, select. Of course, we know there's no mode, so it's telling us it's not applicable because there's no score with the highest frequency. Each of them appears only once. Equal, standard deviation, ST. So here we have standard deviation. We want to take the standard deviation for sample. I will now double click and select that, hit enter. For variance, equal VAR, variance sample, so VARS, double click, select and hit enter. Now we want it for all the other ones. Let me move my chart down, just select that. Come to the end, to this angle, you can see that your cursor has changed into a dark cross. Click and hold, just drag it all the way and then release, and it's going to calculate it for everything. Now you are done with the calculation of everything for this particular one. Now if you take a look, you will see that you have your chart, you've chosen the past 5 years, you have Quebec, unemployment, both sexes. The only thing that is left as per the instruction is for you to have a column chart. The column chart is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is to click anywhere inside of your table, go to pivot table analyze, pivot chart, take column chart, take any of them, and then OK. There you go with your column chart. You can move it wherever you want. Let me just increase it slightly so that we can see clearly. There you have your column chart. So you can see your column chart, you have your line chart. Of course, you want to move it wherever you want. So if you are doing print screen, you can put it, take your two charts, and then move it, displace it, and then take these values with you also into your Word document. So that is basically what you have to do when you are dealing with. So this is it for unemployment rate. Okay, that's it for unemployment rate. Now if you have to do the same for participation rate, you just need to click here. That's all. That will give you the value for participation rate. Now the last thing we need to do before the video gets too long, the instructions demanded you should do it for age group, but you should also do it for the different sexes. Now if you want to do it for the different sexes, you just need to create a new pivot table and redo all of this. However, when you come here, all what you need to add here, you need to get rid of this and put sexes. Or you transport all of this to your Word document and then you come back, you get rid of this. I will uncheck age group. and then I will take sex and put it here and leave it. However, in this case, you don't want it to be both sexes. You want to get rid of that and select female and male at the same time. Hold down Control, those who are using Mac command, hold that and release. Then you can see the unemployment rate for those two groups. However, there is something missing. We now need to add another slicer that enables us to choose the right age group, because now we don't know which age group it's computing. So click on any of your charts, go to Pivot Chart Analyze, go to Insert Slicer, take age group, OK, and I will put my age group here. Now, actually, it's up to you. If you want to investigate this just for 15 to 24, you do that. If you want to investigate it for 15 years and over, that is everyone, you do that. So it's up to you to choose whatever you want. But my advice is that you first of all do this completely for unemployment, then you transport all your information to a Word document, and then you do the same thing for the different sexes. Okay, here we are dealing with participation rate. You can click there for unemployment rate for the two sexes and participation rate for the two sexes. Okay, I hope this is not too confusing. And of course, if you move this chart, you are going to see what is happening. So here of course we only have two sexes, so this is all what you need. All the other things, it's going to have an error. You don't need this. You can forget about it when you are taking your information. This is all what you need. You don't need that one because we have no information. We have male, female. In case we had different things here, then it will compute it. So that is about it. Have fun with it. This is as complicated as it gets. You will never have another activity that has so many things as this one. So wrestle with it. Have fun. Ciao.